gorgeous loves out there, and welcome. In today's video I will be creating I think 6 looks all together using these various palettes. The ones that I got from Beaute Bar, the ones that I have from Beaute Cosmetics, these all have been featured in like a swatch comparison video, so I'm finally like testing them out and creating looks with them. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree. I'm a crazy lover of all things beauty. I love to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, and I like to do a lot on indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So I'm going to make this intro super short because this video is going to be long since I have like 6 or 7 looks in this video coming for you. So I'm finally playing with the Smokey Glam palette from Beaute Bar. They just came out with a new revamped, like smaller version, which I just got in the mail. It's actually in my mailbox. I will do a comparison with them, but I'm going to still use this since I know a lot of you probably picked up this version of Smokey Glam. I also will be creating a look with the Pastel Garden from Beaute Bar, the Melted Matte, the Dead Roses, and the Basic Witch palette. So a lot of Beaute Bar in this video, and then I'll be creating one look with the BBB Cosmetics Moonlight and the Enchanted Elixir. I'm going to do like a two-tone look with these two just together. I felt like it would be easier. So I am going to basically wrap it up, and I think we should jump into these looks, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts at the end. I'm gonna do like green on this side and then purple on the bottom, purple on this side and then green on the bottom, like flip it just so I can use both of these in today's video. Now I did prime my eyes with the Glamlite Icing Eyeshadow Base and Buttercream, and I did not set it. So I'm gonna just start off right with the Moon Rock shade, the deepest green in the palette, and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner. The look is gonna be simple. It's more just to see if the formula seems consistent to like the Cursed Moon palette that I've already tried from them, and just see. I mean, because the mattes swatch a little bit on the drier side, but they seem to go on the eyes really nicely. Like this is going on just fine. Let's go into this one called Full Moon, and I'll run that through the crease. Well, I might not be able to use all shades. There's a lot of beautiful shimmers in here, but I'll try to use as many as possible. And I'm just gonna let that go over the edge of that dark green and bring it into the inner crease area. Now I'm going to go take the Moonbeam shade, the lighter matte. They just gave me a perfect amount of mattes to work with, like a mid-tone, a deeper, and a lighter. Perfect. And then I'm going to put that through the crease. Because honestly, I like more shimmers in my palettes than mattes. As long as I have a good amount of mattes that can make a completed look, I'm happy, especially since this is a monochromatic palette, so I'm not expecting, you know, that much variation between the looks. But that's just going to blend the edge a bit, add some lightness to the edges, and just get everything looking a little bit more, you know, diffused, as I like to do. So let's go work on the lower lash line here, and I'm going to take the purples now. I'll probably use all 3 matte purples and start off with Antidote and use that on the outer edge. The shades are a little powdery, so definitely want to dust off the excess. And I'm just kind of matching it up to the deeper outer corner up here. And then I'm going to take the shade called Alchemist, this one right here. There's almost like a sheen to it, like a satiny vibe to that shade. And I'm going to bring that more to the front and go over the deeper matte and just kind of fuse them together. And then take the shade Intoxication to blend out the edge, and I'll actually build some in the inner portion too to lighten things up some more in the front, and then just brush it over everything that I did down here. Now I'm going to flip to this side and basically do the kind of same steps but with the purple up here, and we'll start off with Antidote. I'm trying to move quick since there's a lot of looks in this video. And I'm just going to do the same thing, concentrate that on the outer corner. I think there was a dark shadow on that brush, so I'm going to go into another brush and build that up on the outer corner. Just go the same amount of distance in. And then I'm going to take the same brush. I'm just going to clean it off with a color switch and go into Alchemist. This too has like a pinkiness to it. And I'm going to run that through the crease and over the edge of that darker purple. And then I'll take the smaller brush and go over the edge with Intoxication. It's going to lighten things up. It's actually going to throw in like kind of like a pink element into the look as well. Like make it a little bit more pinky-esque. And then we're going to just mirror how I did the green up here on the lower lash line. So go back into Moonlit Realm, and go into Moon Rock, the dark green on the outer edge, and bring it in a little bit, and then go into Full Moon, the mid-tone, and go over that shade, and then bring it a little further inward, and then go into Moonbeam, which is going to plop that in the front for brightness, and then use that to blend the edge of the green. Now we'll get into the fun part, which is the shimmer. So let's go back to this green eye. And like I said, I was deciding I was going to just put purple on this side. So let's maybe start off with Concoction. This is the, I think, the deepest purple. Oh my God, so much picks up on the finger. I'm going to take some off. And then I'm going to work that on the edge. Probably should put glitter primer on because these are on the flaky side, but I've already started, so I've committed. Should we maybe go into this one, Aphrodisiac? This one definitely is one of those shifty shades. Oh yes. Put that. This one's a little bit on the smoother side. And then what should we put in the inner portion? I think maybe, oh, no, that's on the deeper side. Maybe Liberation. Ooh, this has kind of a blue shift to it. I'm gonna put that. Ooh, gives like a little interesting blue element to the front portion. Okay, that's totally fine. And then for the final step, I'm gonna take Potion, the iridescent shade that definitely looks like it has maybe pink or some kind of shift to it. It's very flaky, so I'm going to wet it. I tried not to pick up too much, but a lot got on the brush, so let me smooth it out on my hand. And then I'm going to just plop that right here. Oh, look how pretty that is. And it's so brightening. And it has a beautiful kind of like pinky shift to it. Now we'll move over to this side and use the green metallics. I'll figure out what I want to do on the brow bone in just a bit, but let's start off with Apogee. Probably not saying that right. And look at that. Oh my God. I'm gonna put that on towards the deeper purple outer corner. Stunning, stunning, like emerald green shade. Oh, I keep covering my face. And then we'll go into, oh God, there's too many options in here. Nightfall, this one right here. Use that towards the center because I think it's lighter. Oh yeah, it's definitely lighter. Look at these greens. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely stunning. And then I think I want to use Eventide in the inner portion. This one has a shift. Can you see that? And I'm going to use that to brighten the front here. I think it has like a bluey shift to it. There's something going on with that. And then for the bottom front portion down here, I'm going to go into Moonish with this little flat shader brush, and I am going to wet it as well because it is a little flaky. And then I'm going to just pop that over here. Ooh, okay, I picked way too much up. but that's okay. Wow, that is so beautiful. And then the same thing, I'm going to take the iridescent shade, this Moonchild, and use that in the inner corner. I'm using the same brush. This one's also a super flaky shade. Kind of like moves around as I go into the pan, and then I'm gonna spray it and hopefully not have fully like full shimmer fall out from it. So I'm gonna put that here. Maybe I should have spread it on my hand first. Oh my god, the shift on that is so intense. I'm gonna try to spread it out because I think I put a little bit too much on the brush. And then I'm going to flip and use Potion as the brow bone highlight over here. And I think I'm just gonna use my finger. I'm gonna try not to pick up too much, and I'm just gonna put that here. All right, because that would just make sense. And then go in with Moonchild on this side. We're just mixing everything up. Look at that. So I'm going to go work on the look, finish it up, figure out something for my lips, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. It's like totally different on each side. I tried to get like the depth and brightness to match up on each side, but because the metallics are definitely deeper in the purple palette than the green one, I feel like the side is looking brighter. So I tried my best to get them to kind of coordinate, but I still think they're both really beautiful. I think greens and purples look so good together, and it allowed me to use a good amount of shades within one look. So let me lower the brightness so I can show you guys the sparkly goodness of these shimmers because they're stunning. Do you see that? Shifty, gorgeous purples, shifty, gorgeous greens. I just love it. Look at that brow bone. Look at this brow bone. So you have some beautiful variations of tones of greens and purples within each palette, different shifts to them. Like, I mean, this would look so good on its own. This will look so good on its own. I think they're better if they're on their own than mixed together. But I still think the look is giving, you know what I'm saying? It's really pretty. And I'm loving BBB Cosmetics. Like, these monochromatic palettes are just so pretty. So many beautiful options. But what I did off camera was I went in with the Milani Highly Rated Mascara, the Blend Bunny Mascara. I mixed those together. I used the GHC liquid liner that I got from Amazon to create a wing. And then I wasn't sure what to put on the waterline, so I went with a white shade. I used the Jumbo pencil from NYX and Milk just to brighten up the waterline on both sides. And then for the lips, I was kind of torn on what I wanted to do, so I just opted for a nudie lippy. And I have the Glamlite Hershey's Cookies and Cream lipstick on my lips. It's just such a good, nice little nude, nice and creamy, a little satiny. And I feel like it just coordinates with the look overall. So to have like a lot going on up here, I wanted to keep it nudie on the lips. But that was everything for this look. Gosh, MBA is really doing a good thing. Okay, the shimmers are popping. The mattes are performing nicely. I mean, I'm basically already giving you guys my review and like thoughts on these palettes. But anyways, I think we should now get into the next looks. Get into the Basic Witch palette, and I'm going orange and black. I'm gonna go and embrace the Halloween witchy vibes. So I'm going to go through with Grimoire, and I'm just gonna run that through the crease. I feel like orange is not a shade I gravitate towards a lot, but I guess today I am. My top, my cheeks, my earrings, that's just the vibe right now. So I'm just fluffing that through the crease and really building that up. So now I'm going to go into Black Cat, the black matte. I'm not do too much because it's, you know, pretty dark and the orange is on the lighter side. I don't want it to get too intense with the black on the outer corner. Just want some depth. Now I want to take a little bit of green. I think in the front portion, I'm going to go in with it. I know it's going to be darker than the orange that I used, but I just want like a pop of green here, and I am gonna go over it with that orange shade. I think that will help kind of lighten it up, but I'm just gonna like pop it right there, kind of like at a diagonal too. Let me do my lower lash line now and just use the same shades. I'm gonna take the Black Cat shade out here in the outer corner, and I think I'm gonna like bring it all the way in. Maybe I'll okay, a little too much black. See, black can get out of hand quick. I'm just going to put that there, and then I'm going to run the Grimoire shade over that and on the edge. Wow, that got deep real quick. And I'm just going to soften that up, bring warmth down here in orange. For the fun, exciting part, I want to get into some shimmers. I think I'm going to take a little bit of Resting Witch Face. I know it has magenta, but it does have like some pink and green and like a... I feel like it has kind of a grayish base, and I do feel like there's also an orange kind of shift to that. And now I'm going to go into Incantation. I'm being lazy today. I didn't feel like using a brush or even putting on any kind of glitter primer. I was just like, I'm just going to slap it on. And then I'm going to take a little pencil brush, and I'm going to pop the Hocus Pocus shade, the green metallic, and I am going to spray my brush to kind of minimize the fallout, even though I'll probably still have shimmer fallout regardless. Get stuff any little extra, and I'm gonna pop that right there. Oh yes, a nice little greeny pop. Did I not just like go on full Halloween with the colors here? And bring some down there, like a little bit up on the lid and up into the crease. Should I take a little bit of Incantation, the orangey one? I'm going to use that on the brow bone too. Why not? Look at how pretty that is. That would probably look so pretty on the cheeks, and I'm going to take a little bit more on the lid. And I'm going to call it a day. I think I need to fix some things up, some blend. I do have some fallout. And I'm going to do the other eye, figure out what I want to put in the waterline for the lips and everything. And I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here's the completed look. And I didn't do too much off camera. I actually am about to leave the house. My husband is waiting for me to go and get some food and go to the store. So I didn't have enough time to add like a lot of details and stuff. But I think it looks gorgeous with like the orange and the green in the front, and there's like a little bit of a pink shift to that shade that's on the lid, and it's vibing. I think it looks like colorful, but not like super intense, bam, in your face kind of color. And I love it with like my orangey cheeks, my orange top, and I just love how it turned out. I really love Beaute Bar's formula, but let me lower the lighting just a bit. I want you guys to see the sparkle of these shades. Just been doing this lately. I don't know if it really picks up on camera, and if you guys can see like the shifts. So pretty and sparkly with their shimmers. And then let me turn that lighting back up. I just like for you guys to really see how beautiful the shades are. And then for what I did off camera, I went in with the the Sehphora Matte Lime Green Liner in the waterline to match the inner corner green moment. And then for my liner, I used that, the DHC Liquid Eyeliner from Perfect Pro Makeup that I got from Amazon. And I have the Chucky liner from Glamlite. I tight lined with that. And then for my lashes, I have the usual Benefit Fan Fest Milani Highly Rated. And for my lips, I went for something nudie. I kind of wanted to do something orange, but I wanted to keep it chill. I feel like this has more of a pink vibe, like it's a brownie pink. The shade name is misleading, but I have the Nabla Matte Pleasure Lipstick in Peach Deal. Is it giving peach? I don't think so, but I think it still like matches the look, and it's fine. It's a matte formula, and that is all I did off camera. Easy peasy, beautiful cover girl. I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but anyways, I'm going to wrap this up so I can go to dinner. But that was everything for this look with the Basic Witch palette. right, my loves, we're going to get into the Smokey Glam palette, which now this is considered the older version. They just revamped it, and it's a smaller palette with like magnetic pens, and it just got a whole upgrade. I did pick that palette up. It's actually available today when I'm filming this video, but I still wanted to do a look with this palette, and of course, when that new one comes in, I'll do a comparison since I know a lot of you guys have this palette and I still want to use it on camera. So I think I'm going to just start off with Smoked Out and use this. Honestly, I think this is great. I mean, I do think like scaling it down makes sense for like the revamped palette version of this, because there is like a lot of repetitive shades in here. And I think the revamp looks stunning, which I'll pop a picture of it up here, and that will eventually be shown on my channel, and we can do a whole comparison. But you know, you see I'm just covering my whole lid with that matte black. It's not too scary of a matte black. You can kind of work with it and like slowly build it. You just definitely want to at least dust off the excess though. Now I want to go into some of the purple here. So I guess we should start off with Silk Teddy. This purple right here, and go over the edges, bring in more of a purple element, and see where that takes me. So I'm going over here and using that up here, and just gonna slowly get purple into this. I just wanted the look to be, you know, on that very smoky purple end, and that's why I use the black first, since I wanted that smokiness to be really prominent in the look. I'm going to go into the shade called Hypnotic, this even lighter kind of lavender shade, and I'm going to just gently work that over the very, very edge. I definitely need to pluck my eyebrows. Please ignore. So I'm just going to take like the darker shades on the lower lash line too. I'm going in with the black. I'm going to try to be careful with these shades because they are powdery and I don't want to get too much fallout. And I'm just connecting that up here. Then go over with the purple. Just kind of mesh those together. Now we're going to get into the shade called Satin Sheets. This one is like a very deep blackened plum, and I'm going to use that on the lid, like towards the outer edge, and just slowly build that on top of that matte black we got going on. And I guess we should go into Velvet Crush, which this one looks like more magenta-y with some purple in it too, like a purple shift. Oh yeah, that's perfect for the inner portion. I love that. I love that little combo. Oh, it looks so good. And I think it also has like blue sparkles in it. And then for the very inner corner, I think I want to use Pillow Fight. It's a very pastel, cool kind of grayish mint, but I think it's going to give a pop. It's so light that like when I swatch it, it almost looked on the whiter end. But I think next to that purple, it is pulling minty, maybe even a little bit more gray, but it gives a beautiful pop right there. And then for like maybe a little extra brightness on the lower part, I'll go into the shade called Romantic and go in with like a flat shader brush to just add some more brightness down there. I feel like it's kind of dark. And then it's going to add like a little extra pop too. And then maybe I should go in with Velvet Crush as like an in-between the matte and that lighter shimmer. Just to get like a better little gradient here. And then we need something on the brow bone, which I'm thinking Imagine might be a good shade for the brow bone. It has like a really strong blue shift. So let me take that on the brow bone. It is on the flakier side, but I'm just going to smooth that on. Oh, look at that blue shift. Wow. Just spread it as much as possible. I'm going to take a little bit of Black Onyx. It's another matte black that's in the palette, But this one has shimmers, and it looks like it might be even a little deeper than Smoked Out. And I'm going to put that on the edge. I did try to dust off the excess just to build some of the black back. Oh my god, I'm still getting like fallout. Maybe this kind of eye look, you want to do your eye look before you do your base. But I'm going to go fix things out. I'm going to try to get rid of this little bit of fallout, clean everything, do the other eye, figure out something for the lips, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. And I didn't do any like extraness or anything off camera. I just left it as is because I just love this smoky look, and it just looks so dramatic, and I'm really vibing with it. But the things I did want to note before we get into everything I use is I did get some like fallout from the black shadow down here, and when I tried to wipe it off, it did leave a stain, so I have to go in with concealer and powder. So be careful, the mattes are on the powdery end. If you're going to do a look like this, you probably want to do your eye makeup before your like foundation and all of that. Don't do things the hard way like I always do. And let me just lean in so you guys can see the beautiful sparkly shadows. I'm going to lower the brightness. They're sparkly, even though they're on the darker end, they still have a lot of sparkle in it. It's giving like galaxy vibes. I really like the metallics in here, and of course they revamped it, so I don't think they're going to sell this version anymore. But if you had picked this palette up, hopefully I'm giving you some kind of look inspiration, you know, inspiring you to use it. And then we can get into the things that I did use off camera. So I went in with the Adept Cosmetics mascara. This is the Pick Me Up Volume and Length mascara, and then I used it with the Thrive lash extension or liquid lash extension mascara. I finally have this back in my life. It's my favorite one. And then for the waterline, I went in with the LA Girl Shockwave Liner and Fresh just to give more of a minty vibe, brighten up the waterline. And then for my lips, I wanted something cool tone in purple. So I went in with this Kaleidos Cloud Lab Lip Clay and Mercury Wave. It's a beautiful cool tone, like mid-tone purple, and it matches the eye look really well. All the other purple lippies I had leaned more warm, more pink, or more reddish. I think this leans definitely more on that grayish cool tone side. So that is everything for this gorgeous smoky purple look. We can now get into the next look. We're going to get into the Dead Roses palette. I did prime my eyes with the Glamlite Icing Eyeshadow Base in Buttercream. Did not set it. So I'm going to start off with You're the Worst. This very deep purple. And I think I want to do more of like a defined shape today. We're going to get a little dramatic. This sounds like a black and purple. It has a lot of depth to it. I'm going to keep dusting off the excess. But I'm just going to follow my natural like eye shape like that. And I want, you know, maybe a cut crease moment today. I don't know where I'm going with this look, but I am going to put You're the Worst in the inner portion too, because I want to be brave today and do something a little different. I don't normally do halo eyes very often. I feel like it never matches my eye shape, but we're gonna see what I can do with this. So I'm gonna continue to use this little brush. I am going to clean it off with a color switch. And I'm going to go in, should we do some red on the edge? Go into Stupid Cupid, this like lighter red that's in the palette, and like kind of work that on the very edge of that purple. Trying to make sure I'm matching up where my eye center's at. I feel like it's always off when I do this. I'm just working on the very edge. And now for the middle part, should we go into I Need Space, this hot pink matte? I'm gonna lay shimmers over. I just wanna get the foundation down for what shimmers I want to put over it, I guess, is my thought process. Do you guys see? Do you see how vivid this pink is? It is like a neon pink. I was not expecting it to be that vivid, and it packs on so nicely. And I feel like I need to kind of blend the edges a little bit. So should we take maybe this You Wish shade as like a softening shade on the bottom just to blend things out? So I feel like it's looking a little harsh on the edges. And since it's the lightest shade, I feel like that will be good to just kind of blend into the skin. You won't even really be able to see it. And I think I'm going to run it on the edge here too, just to make things look a little bit more softer on the edge. Now I'm kind of curious if You Wish could be a brightening shade in the inner portion. I'm not sure if it's light enough, but let's see if it is. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna pack it there. And I might go in with a shimmer over it. So now let's get into some shimmers on the lid. Like, I just have to go in with some shimmers. So I'm thinking we should go in back with this teeny little flat brush and start off with, I think I want to take a little bit of this one. Is it Ew? And it's a beautiful, very smoky, shifty shade. And I'm gonna wet the brush. And I'm just gonna kind of follow everything that I did. So I'm gonna put that on the very edge, like near where the red was put. And then maybe we'll try to use a little bit of Bite Me, because there's not like a true red metallic in here. Okay, let's try some of that. It actually has some green to it. So we'll put it here. Put the shift on it. Comes off more like reddish. And then I'll put that there. And then for the hot pink center, let's go with Be My Ex, which is the hot pink shimmer in the palette. This one's a little flakier, so I am going to definitely wet my brush for that. Let's see what we can do for the center. See, that's just gonna give like a nice little shine, and it's like nice having that hot pink underneath, because it gives it more of a base and will make it pull even more hot pink in the center. So just to add a little bit more, I'm gonna go in with this shade called Friend Bone. I think this one will work as a brow bone highlight. It's super shifty, super flaky. Can I get that? Ooh, it has like a lot of gold to it. I feel like the inner corner is just not popping enough. I was gonna leave it, but I think I'm gonna take Not Yours, this one right here, and use that over it. That one has kind of a bluey purple shift, which is fine. But I am going to pick it up on my brush and spray it with some water and just put that over it. Yeah, it's gonna add like a little fun blue pop since it has that blue shift. I just feel like I needed something there. Yeah, there we go. So I now think I'm ready to go off camera, finish off this eye look, do the other eye, mascara, you know, liner, all that, figure out something for my lips, and I will be right back. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. And I've been gone for a while because I was struggling with gem placement, because I just wanted to add some flower details, some extra sparkle to this look, a little bit more drama, and I think it finally came out perfect. So I'm going to lower the brightness just so you guys can see the shades a little better. With my little trusty flashlight, look at these metallics, they're so sparkly. And then I added a flower gem to the outer and inner portion. They're like lavender little flowers. And then I surrounded them with pink and purple gems. Just a little addition to the look to add some fun detail. And I just think this came out so beautiful. I just want to show you guys that up close. And the gems I got from 2 different places. So the flower gems I got from Amazon. It's like a little pack. I'll try to remember to link them. And then for like the pink and purple gems, I got them from the set from It's Belle, which they aren't open anymore, but I love them. And it's just a little bit of extraness. It's not taking away from the shadows. I didn't want to put too many gems because then you see the gems more than the shadow. So I think this is like a perfect setup. And then for the rest of the look, I went in with this Colourpop gel liner in Lover Boy. I don't know if they sell this one anymore, but it's a beautiful pink. It matches the shadows perfectly. It matches my top perfectly. I used the Blend Bunny mascara and the Milani mascara together again, and the DHC liquid liner to create a wing. And then I felt like I wanted to do a pinky lip because at first it was gonna go like purple, and I was like, no, I want to pull more into the pink. So I have this Unearthly Cosmetics Satin Lippy and Smooch. It's the perfect pink shade. And I don't think they sell this color anymore. I think it was in a like Valentine's Day mystery box, but I really, really love this shade. It's just the perfect pink for this eye look. And that's all I did off camera to finish this. And I'm ready. I'm ready to go out and, you know, be cute and all that. But that's all I did to complete this look. I love this palette. It's beautiful. And it's giving all the sparkly vibes. But I think we should now get into the next look. Alright, y'all, we're going to get into the Melted Mattes palette now from Blend Bunny. I did prime my eyes already with the Glamlite Icing Eyeshadow Base and Buttercream. It did not set it. And I'm going to be doing an all matte look. It's been a while since I've done one of those, but I'm going to go into the shade right here. The shades don't have any names on them for some reason, but that's the one I'm going to go with. And I am going to use that as like the initial transition shade. I think I'm just gonna go for a nice kind of brown green look, or a brown look with a vibrant pop. Do we want to go right to black? Well, maybe we'll start off with this brown up here. It's a deeper brown, and I'll maybe slowly build to the black shade just to get like a gradient here and slowly build up. Now I'm going to go into the matte black right here. I'm using the same brush from the shades, and I'm just going to keep that right on the outer corner. I don't want to take it too far in. I just want to add a little bit of depth out here, and everything is layering over one another so nicely. And then I'm going to get another brush so we can blend over the edge up here, and I'm going to go into this like warm brownie light shade and use that just to soften things with this like little fluffy brush. And now for the fun part. I think I'm gonna go with two colors on the lid for matte. Let me get a clean like flat brush here, and I think I do want to take a little bit of this like vibranty pink shade. I just couldn't avoid it. It's so pretty, and I want to flatten that here. It's gonna be like more just in the center, kind of like a in-between shade between the lightest one that I'm gonna use in the front. Look how vibrant that is, by the way. And now that the part that I'm really excited for is to see how this shade will look in the very inner portion. So I just took another flat shader brush, so much picks up on the brush, and I'm just gonna layer it on here. I'm not like adding anything underneath. I just wanted to see how this would do on its own. I didn't put a white base, nothing down. And it's still looking so vibrant and poppy. And I'm also going to bring that into the inner corner. Wow, that's such a beautiful neon. So now I want to do my like lower lash line and go into, I guess this brown right here. The first brown I started with was this orangey brown. Run that down here, and I'll add some depth to the outer corner and all of that. I think I'm gonna run it all the way through. And then I'm gonna take that brown, the deeper cool tone-ish brown, and go over that. And then I'm gonna take the matte black on the very outer corner. And then we'll see if I can use this matte white as a brow bone brightening shade. I like using matte whites for that, so I'm sure it will be pigmented enough to do that. Just using like this little pencil brush. There we go. Oh yeah, it's definitely bright and pigmented enough to brighten the brow bone, or you could use that as an inner corner highlight too. But I like that. Simple, easy peasy, not complicated. So I think that's it. I might do maybe a cool little liner thing or something just to amp up the look. And then I will, of course, do the other eye, figure out something for my lips. This one I knew was going to be quick since we're working with just matte. So let me do all of that off camera, and then I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, y'all, I'm back, and here is the completed look, and I absolutely love how this turned out. I rarely do an all matte look, but this looks stunning. It's vibrant, it's bright, it's still like somewhat colorful, but not too extreme. We got some browns, we got a neon-y moment in the inner portion. I did add a little bit of that like neon-y kind of pink down here as well in the inner portion that I have in the middle part. I just felt like I needed a pop of pink down there as well. But let me lean in so you guys can see the final results. I think it's gorgeous. You know, I would totally rock more matte looks if I did things like this. I'm just such a shimmer girly. Most likely I'm going to end up using this palette with shimmers. That's probably truly how I'm going to use it, or pull these shades for like custom palettes and all that. But I think it's gorgeous and stunning. So the few things that I did do off camera to complete this look is I went in with the DHC liner to create a nice little wing. I also used the Sehphora the Ultimate Gel Eyeliner and Matte Lime Green in the waterline to match the inner corner. And then mascara, the same, Milani and Blend Bunny for some length and volume. And then for the lips, I want it to go nudie. I have this like peachy moment on the lips right now. It's like a muted peach, but I think it matches the vibe of the look. This is from e.l.f. It's one of their, I believe, Old Face lipsticks. They're Old Face satin lipsticks. This one is in Vocal. It's a beautiful shade, and I think it went really well with the look. I almost did something vibrantly pink, and then I was going to do like brown, but I think I like this because it has a warmth to it, and it goes with like the warm tones on the lid. And that's basically all I did off camera. Easy peasy, nothing crazy, but the look is so striking on its own with that bold like neon moment in the front. So I really like the mattes. They're as good as I expected from Beaute Bar. But that was everything for this look. Now we can get into the next one. We are going to now get into the final look with the Pastel Garden palette from Beaute Bar. And I did prime my eyes with the Glamlite Icing Eyeshadow Base, but I mixed it with the About Face Matte Fluid Paint and White Noise because I wanted a very light base, since these shades are very light pastels. And I kind of have a look in mind. I got some inspiration for this look, which is actually from Rosy Colors. Her name is Andy, but her Instagram is Rosy Colors. I'll pop the photo up here so you guys can see where the inspiration is coming from. I might have to pull in like some liner to do that red detail she does in hers. I might switch it up and do something a little different. I'm going to start off with what seems to be the darkest shade in the palette, which is Lady's Mantle. And I'm going to pull it out like this way. So I'm just gonna have it like kind of come here and create like a shade with it, just like how it is in the look from Rosy Colors. She's like so sweet. She has such a great Instagram account. She does swatches. I think she also does swatches and stuff on YouTube as well. And she's gorgeous too. And she just has the most beautiful, fun, creative looks. But now I'm going to blend out the edges with, I think, Slipper Orchid, this one right here, and use that to just kind of soften the edge, get a nice blend. There's one thing she does well is she is great at blending from what I can see in her looks. I'm just going to soften everything, even go down here. Now I'm going to get into some orange for the center. So I think I'm going to just mix these two, Coral Belle and Ballerina Tulip. This one's more of a coral shade, hence the name. And I'm just going to use those together. Well, why not? I'm just going to stamp that on the center. I'm trying to get it as built up as possible. But I mean, these are pretty pigmented for pastels. But I knew the Beaute Bar would come through with the pigmentation on their shadows. They do mattes so well. I'm going to bring in blue into the middle part here. And I'm going to go with Bluebell. This one right here. There's so many like periwinkle kind of options in this palette. And I think I'm just going to get like a little teeny brush like this. I don't know why I said it like that. And I'm going to bring that in here and just like really stamp it on in the inner portion. I should have put some of the white liquid shadow on the lower lash line, but it's fine. This is still showing up so nicely without it having like a white base. And then for the final step, we're gonna pop some yellow in the inner portion. And I'm thinking Archangel is the winner. This one has more of like a neon-esque vibe to it, so I'm gonna pop that into the very inner portion here. Just plop it right there. Ooh, that is so pigmented and stunning. I love that. I still need to go on with some shimmers, but I just wanted to get the matte placement down first. Oh my god, that's beautiful. So I have to go into Zinnia, this green down here. And I'm just gonna plop it over things here. So like right there. Oh yeah. That is a beautiful, beautiful green metallic. And now I'll get into the, what's it? Cleopatra Lily. This orange right there. Ooh, look at that. And it's nice and fiery. It has like a goldeny shift to it. I'm just gonna mesh perfectly with the yellow. I need to do my nails, by the way. Ignore my nails. And then, of course, I'm gonna bring just a little bit of the yellow Shimmer Cod Japanese Rose. That one in just the inner portion. I'm not gonna take it over the inner corner though. I like that pastel yellow being the inner corner moment. And maybe I'll wet my brush a little bit for this shade. Because I just wanted to use a brush instead of my finger just so I can get it right there in the very, very inner portion. And I think this one might have a little bit of a blueness going on to it, which will coordinate with the blue that I have down there. Maybe we'll take a little bit of this shade called Fairy Thimble on the lower lash line, just a little bit. Just so I can use another shade, I'm going to take this little brush, this teeny little brush that I used to apply the blue matte on the bottom, and I'm going to wet it. I just wanted to play with more shimmers in the palette. Because why not, right? Why not add more shimmer? And then should we have a brow bone moment? It looks like she had like a peachy thing up in her brow. Do I want to just maybe take Forget Me Not on the brow instead? Yeah? Because I like a shimmery brow moment. And we'll do that up here. This definitely has like a bluey kind of shift to it. Maybe I'll add a little bit of Sunset Rose over that. I just want to use more. Okay, I like that little combo even better. You know, the brow bone is popping. Maybe like I'll shear it out a bit because it's pretty intense. I am gonna go off camera and like perfect the look, do the other eye, figure out what detail I want to add, a lippy and all that, and I will be right back. All right, my loves, I am back and here's the completed look and I love it. It's so bright and springy. It's matching my background so well, but I did decide to add a art detail, kind of like how Andy had, but I used pink instead of red, and I feel like it really goes with the tones that I have on my eyes. And I did pull 2 more mattes onto my lid from the palette. I went into Bleeding Heart and Aster just above the arch just to add some more pink to that area. And now I'm going to like lean in so I can really show you guys the shadows, the sparkle, lower the brightness, get my little flashlight. You know what I like to do now. But look at these shimmers. They're so pretty. They all have like kind of subtle shifts, and then you can kind of see the arch better. I just love that. This is so bright and fun. Pastel looks can be just so fun to do. But for the rest of the look, I went in with the NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk just to brighten the waterline, go with the light tones that are on the eyes. And then I did line a little bit on the top here with the DHC liquid liner just to add some like definement to the look. I didn't want to create a wing because I felt like that would be too harsh with a black liner, but I did go on with my heavy hitter mascara. So I have the Benefit Fan Fest mascara and my Thrive liquid, lash extension mascara, just because I wanted my lashes to look really long and full against these like lighter shades. And then for my lips, I went in with the DedeSignature Lip Gloss in Peach and the matching lip liner. I wanted like a peachy moment. I want it to be juicy to go with these light vibes on my eyes. And I think that's everything that I did to complete this look, and I adore it. It's so fun. It's so pretty. I love playing with pastels. You could definitely like pair that with a palette with darker shadows if you need more depth, but I think this is perfect for like this time of the year, for springtime and all that. So that was everything for this final look. I think I can, you know, zoom out and give you my thoughts on all of these palettes and wrap up this video. So we made it to the end of this video. And I know this was a long one since I did a lot more looks in this video, but I'm like super behind on trying out palettes on camera and like reviewing them. And that's why I decided to include so many in this video. So I'm just gonna pull at random on what palette I start giving you guys my thoughts on. But we'll jump into the Smokey Glam palette. So this one is, I don't think, available, this version anymore, because they just came out with a revamped version of this. But I still wanted to try it on camera for all of you that have picked up this palette, give you some look inspirations and my thoughts. And I do have the new one actually in my mailbox right now I need to go get, but I will do a comparison to this one. It's a smaller one with like updated formula and all that, but I think this is a beautiful nudie palette. I love the look I was able to create with it. The tones in here are beautiful. Definitely leans more cool tone. There are some warm tones in here. The shimmers were nice and smooth. Some are a little bit more flaky. Some have shifts. But I think overall this was a nice nudie palette. I do feel like there was a lot of redundancy amongst the shades that were very similar to one another. And I think that's why they revamped it and kind of scaled down the color story, because there was a lot of shades that look very similar, like once you put them on the eyes, but it's a nice one. The usual good formula from Beaute Bar. Then we'll get into the Melted Mattes one. I think this is a really nice one. They make good mattes, especially like these neon shades are stunning, pigmented, the matte white. All of it was, you know, easy to work with. Yet again, a lot of redundancy, you know, repetitive shades in here. This could have definitely been scaled down to a smaller palette. I just don't think we needed it to be this big. Like, you could have just had a few neon pinks, you know. It could have been half the size, but I still really love the shadows, and I'm definitely going to use this more to create like my own like palettes and use with like single shimmers. I think that's my main way I'm going to use this. And then we'll get into the Basic Witch palette. Beautiful, very Halloween kind of color story. Purples, reds, stunning shimmers, super shifty gorgeousness. Yet again, great formula, consistent to what I expected from Beaute Bar. Beautiful mattes. I like the range of depth in here. I do wish that there was like a little bit more green matte options in here. It's more purple heavy, but I think like a deep green in here would have been nice instead of like these 3 like purples or like 4 purples. So I mean, there would be a few things I tweaked, but for the formula, it's stunning. Overall color story, really beautiful. I love Beaute Bar. They make the best palettes. And then the Dead Roses palette. Oh, this is such a romantic kind of color story. You know, it's in that purple berry realm. It's a little bit on the monochromatic end, what you expect from like a Valentine's Day kind of themed color story, but it's beautiful. You got depth, lighter tones, mid-tones. in various like beautiful shifty metallics. You can go a little smoky. I love how like intense some of the shifts are on these metallics, and you got various like tones and various textures in here. If this is your jam, if you're like a pink, burgundy, purple, girly guy, whoever you are, if this is your kind of color story, I think you would love this. And then we're gonna get into the one that's on my eyes, the Pastel Garden palette. This is their revamped version. So for some reason they didn't decide to scale down on this one for some reason, but I love it because it is beautiful and I love pastels. I love all these different options, and these are really good pastels. Nice and pigmented, pack a punch, show up on the eyes so well. And then you also have these beautiful like shimmers in here, but of course there are repetitive shades in here that we didn't need it to be this big. So I'm wondering why they didn't make this a little bit on the smaller end, but I guess they just wanted to give you every like pastel option you could think of for different tones of pastel yellow, you know, pinks and all that. But I think that the shades are really pretty. It performs really well, just as good as like the pastels in the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Bunny. I think I like that one even more because they have the addition of like the deeper tones to add some depth. So I'd probably pair this with other palettes, but I can definitely use this on its own, like how I have it here, especially in the springtime. But normally I like a little depth in my looks, I'm not gonna lie, but the formula is excellent if you're looking for a good pastel palette that will give you all types of options. Then I would highly recommend this one. And then the BBB Cosmetics palettes, they're so beautiful. They're just as good as the Cursed Moon palette. I think the variation of the Cursed Moon palette intrigues me the most, but these are really nice. I think I like the Moonlit Realm a little bit more than the Enchanted Elixir, but I'm a sucker for greens. I love the green options in here. They have different shifts. I thought the mattes in here performed really nicely, you know, easy to build, blendable, no patchiness issues. But it's just shimmers. I'm telling y'all, BBB shimmers are so gorgeous, the different textures. And then the Enchanted Elixir too, it's very good. No issues with the mattes, beautiful shimmers. This is more on the darker end with one like lighter shimmer. All the other shimmers are like somewhat deeper, like purples. They're very saturated, very smoky, but I still love them. And I adore a purple look as well. But they are very monochromatic, so if you want a monochromatic purple or green or even the Cursed Moon one, then these would be really good options. So the formula is excellent. The different options are beautiful. But that was all my thoughts on all of the palettes, all the looks I was able to come up with. And these palettes were all excellent, but I knew that was going to be my thoughts. I love Beaute Bar, and I really enjoyed the Cursed Moon palette from BBB, so I knew going in that these other two monochromatic palettes were going to be really, really good. But you guys will now have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? What do you think of the looks that I created? Have you tried any of these palettes? What have you been loving on lately? I would really love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup and all that good stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all of the palettes linked and the videos of me doing the swatches in comparison if you want to see more on these palettes. I will also have my makeup linked, everything, all the foundation, all the different lippies and products I use throughout the video will be there in the description, as well as my discount codes. I have one with Beaute Bar. It is Breezy Beauty. It will save you some money off. It is affiliated, but if you do choose to use it, thank you so much. I also have with like Gourmande Girls and some other brands, but my codes are always there in the description. I will also have my contact and my social media platforms linked. Them also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, for supporting my channel. I just appreciate you guys all so much, and I hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you guys all so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.